47.
And the breakfast at the hotel, it starts from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. in the morning. This is the hotel. You can also
In the morning, so after 1 or 2 hours it will be very hot.
Yeah, you're right. After 1 o'clock, it's going to be so hot.
Yeah.
Of the Khmer kingdom. So the current Cambodian are called themselves Khmer.
Khmer.
Yeah, so Khmer we spell Khmer. Khmer is the name of the major minority ethnic who established in this region 1,500 years BC. BC. Before the presence of Thailand, right here. Before the presence of Ho Chi Minh and Vietnam and Laos. You can compare to the current map of Southeast Asia. Can you see?
Yeah.
So this is Cambodia. The yellow color is Thailand, Laos and Vietnam. And they were just one kingdom under the rule of the Khmer monarchy. And from the 9th century to the 13th century, what we call the golden age of the Khmer civilization, they established in this region. And they built and they traveled by boat to Indochina. So in Hinduism, they worship to three Murti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. And then in Buddhism, they worship to three different gods. Buddha means the enlightened person, Prajna Paramita mean the supreme wisdom, and Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara mean the future Buddha and the compassionate Buddha, renowned his own salvation to help human being. So three different Buddha. And Mahayana Buddhism mean the big rock, the grand vehicle that can transport Buddhists to Nirvana. Yeah. But later on, from the end of the 13th century, the power of the Khmer kingdom declined. So finally, the Angkor region was abandoned in the year 1432 AD. So all these are the photos of the monuments in this region found by French people.
Found by French?
Yeah, found by French. We abandoned this region in 1432 AD, the same file. And you can see very rare photo like Angkor Wat when they found it. It was covered with vegetation, with banana.
Okay, this is the place where we are going now.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was abandoned. Yeah, this is the Apsara.
Apsara, okay.
Yeah, Apsara, you might understand.
Yeah.
The celestial dancer.
Dancer,
Yeah.
Indra.
Yeah, of
Indra.
Indra. And they were born from... Time that people call Angkor region. So just this region is covered 402 square kilometers, including the temple and the forest. So recently in 2018, there was the American group that spent 1 week to study the constellation in Angkor region that people call Drago. So Drago we spell D-R-A-C-N-O. Drago
It's
is
dragon.
You're right, it's dragon. Drago is one of the 48 constellations in Europe that located on the northern sky. And its original Latin is called the dragon star, listed by astronomer in the 2nd century. So we can call it Nagaraja. Nagaraja star. Yeah, Nagaraja star. 1 minute. Nagaraja star. So this is called Drago. Yeah, it looks like the dragon. Or we can call Nagaraja. In Hindu belief, it's called Nagaraja. So the layout of Angkor Wat Temple consists of 5 towers. So the 5 tower with the central tower standing 65 meter high and located on the 7th of the global latitude. So 5 tower of the monument can create and perform the head of the dragon. So we can compare the location of Angkor. So this is Angkor region. You can see this is Angkor Wat Temple, and then 5 tower of these can perform the head of the dragon. So this is the main reason. The main reason that each year on the 21st of March and 21st of September, people can see the equinox sunrise.
Sorry?
Equinox.
Eclipse?
Not eclipse. Equinox. When the daytime and nighttime are equal.
Yeah, okay.
So 12 hour at daytime, 12 hour at nighttime, the sun rise behind the central tower of Angkor Wat Temple. And 2 days a year that people can see equinox sunrise like this. So the sun rise behind the central tower of Angkor Wat Temple. It is not an accident, but it is perfectly designed and calculated, related to the sun, related to the moon, related to the star. Yeah. The whole layout of Angkor Wat, they call the sun orbit system. 365 days a year, we can see the sunrise behind the construction. They call it solar calendar. We have 2 calendar, lunar calendar and solar calendar. Lunar refer to month, solar refer to year. In addition, Angkor Wat is over.
Angkor Wat in Siem Reap, Cambodia is the largest religious monument in the world. Angkor Wat, translated from Khmer, literally means city temple. Angkor Wat was not the original name given to the temple when it was built in the 12th century. Angkor Wat is the greatest religious construction project in Southeast Asia. A possible reason why the temple's original name may have never been documented is that it was such an important and famous monument that there was no need to refer to it by its name. We have several references to the king who built the temple. King Suryavarman II 1113 to 1145 50th C and events.
Clean your heart, because very soon as we are going through Pandit entrance, and then you are going to see the most sacred statue and the largest standing statue of Vishnu statue from the central tower on the top. And this statue was converted, I'm wrong, was removed from the central tower when they converted to Buddhism. Yeah, so they gave the new name to this statue. It is called Lok Ta Ri. So Lok Ta means grandfather or ancestor. Cambodia is Theravada Buddhism, but this statue is extremely superstitious, very sacred. We believe and worship to superstitious spirit. Every statue, people extremely believe there is a sacred spirit that look after the later generation or descendant of Khmer people. So, according to Cambodian belief, once they must come to prostrate this statue in their life. So that's why you have it in your heart. I'm going to tell you one story. In 1985, the head of the statue used to be cut and stolen by heretics. And
The construction of Angkor Wat likely began in the year 1116 CE, 3 years after King Suryavarman II came to the throne, with construction ending in 1150, shortly after the king's death. Evidence for these dates comes in part from inscriptions, which are vague, but also from the architectural design and artistic style of the temple and its associated sculptures. Historical context. Angkor Wat is dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, who is one of the three principal gods in the Hindu pantheon. Shiva and Brahma are the others. Among them, he is known as the protector. The major patron of Angkor Wat was King Suryavarman II, whose name translates as the protector of the sun. Many scholars believe that Angkor Wat was not only a temple dedicated to Vishnu, but that it was also intended to serve as the king's mausoleum in death. The building of temples by Khmer kings was a means of legitimizing their claim to political office, and also to lay claim to the protection and powers of the gods. Hindu temples are not a place for religious congregation. Instead, they are homes of the god. In order for a king to lay claim to his political office, he had proved that the gods did not support his predecessors or his enemies. To this end, the king had to build the grandest temple, palace for the gods, one that proved to be more lavish than any previous temples. In doing so, the king could make visible his ability to harness the energy and resources to construct the temple, and assert that his temple was the only place that a god would consider residing in on earth. The building of Angkor Wat is likely to have necessitated some 300,000 workers, which included architects, construction workers, masons, sculptors, and the servants to feed these workers. Construction of the site took over 30 years and was never completely finished. The site is built entirely out of stone, which is incredible, as close examination of the temple demonstrates that almost every surface is treated
and repeat. Hanuman, who is this? The younger brother of Rama. Lakshman Vishwanath is the fortune teller, and he is the main person who advised Ram to kill Ravan. He knows the wicked point.
The intricate stories carved intro Angkor Wat's wall. In the North Gallery, in special belief of Battle of Kurukshetra Mahabharat War. In Angkor Wat's wall deeply wrote story of Mahabharat. In the same Angkor Wat's wall deeply wrote story of Ramayan.
The main symbol in Cambodia that fall all the way to the magic. All magical humble. Yeah, it's a kind of tattoo. And people truly believe he's the best worshipper and elite. My grandfather told me. And then we go to pray to the center of the universe. Okay, all these are called the Apsara. And we have 1,000. Complex. From here to The moat outside is the same distance from here to the back, 750 meter. From here to the south and the north is 650. One thing, look up. What can you see? Can you see the cruciform roof? Right? The cruciform roof and the central point of the roof is straight down to the spot right here. Can you see the compass? If you focus on the compass with 90 degrees, you can see the white cruciform mark on the compass. So white cruciform mark is straight up to the top. Straight to the top with 90 degrees. Surrounding this point, there are 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There are 1,200 square meters of carved bas-reliefs at Angkor Wat, representing 8 different Hindu stories. Perhaps the most important narrative represented at Angkor Wat is the churning of the Oceano, Milk Below, which depicts a story about the beginning of time and the creation of the universe. It is also a story about the victory of good over evil. In the story, Devas gods are fighting the Asuras demons in order to reclaim order and power for the gods who have lost it. In order to reclaim peace and order, the elixir of life Amrita needs to be released from the earth. However, the only way for the elixir to be released is for the gods and demons to first work together. 2. This end, both sides are aware that once the Amrita is released, there will be a battle to attain it.
Ancient time, it was extremely sacred and strict. Was not allowed for common people. Even Pandit could not climb up. Only the king could climb up alone to prostrate Mahavishnu that you could see at the entrance. Yeah, so they call Maharaja. And this level consists of 12 stairway. Each stairway consists of 37 steps. Do you know the number? 37 symbolize the heaven number. Yeah, $37. 37 level of the heaven. Each stairway is designed with 75 degrees. Very steep. Why did they build very steep? Actually, besides they use them to climb up as the stairway, they are also the prop. You know prop? P-R-O-P. Prop means batteries to support the foundation. So this is a foundation. So when they build the stairway in 75 degrees like this, they become the batteries to support the foundation. So this is called the engineering. So one is respecting. When someone climb up, they have to put the head down all the time to bow. Second is supporting. Anyway, this is a way to help them.
An aerial view of Angkor Wat demonstrates that the temple is made up of an expansive enclosure wall, which separates the sacred temple grounds from the protective moat that surrounds the entire complex. The moat is visible in the photograph at the top of the page. The temple proper is comprised of 3 galleries, a passageway running along the length of the temple with a central sanctuary marked by 5 stone towers. The 5 stone towers are intended to mimic the 5 mountain ranges of Mt. Khmer, the mythical home of the gods for both Hindus and Buddhists. The Temple Mountain as an architectural design was invented in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asian architects quite literally envisioned temples dedicated to Hindu gods on earth as a representation of Mt. Meru. The galleries and the empty spaces that they created between one another and the moat are envisioned as the mountain ranges and oceans that surround Mt. Meru. Mt. Meru is not only home to the gods, it is also considered an axis mundi. An axis mundi is a cosmic or world axis that connects heaven and earth. In designing Angkor Wat in this way, King Suryavarman II and his architects intended for the temple to serve as the supreme abode for Vishnu. Similarly, the symbolism of Angkor Wat serving as an axis mundi was intended to demonstrate the Angkor kingdoms and the king's central place in the universe. In addition to envisioning Angkor Wat as Mt. Meru on earth, the temple's architects, of whom we know nothing, also ingeniously designed the temple so that embedded in the temple's construction is a map of the cosmos modula, as well as a historical record of the temple's patron. According to ancient Sanskrit and Khmer texts, religious monuments and specifically temples must be organized in such a way that they are in harmony with the universe, meaning that the temple should be planned according to the rising sun and moon, in addition to symbolizing the recurrent time sequences of the days, months, and years. The central axis of these temples should also be aligned with the planets, thus connecting the structure to the cosmos so that temples become spiritual, political, cosmological, astronomical, and geophysical centers. They are, in other words, intended to represent microcosms of the universe and are organized as mandalas, diagrams of the universe. The relief depicts the moment when the two sides are churning the ocean of milk. In the detail above, you can see that the gods and demons are playing a sort of tug-of-war with the Naga or Serpent King as their divine rope. The Naga is being spun on MT. Mandara represented by Vishnu in the center. Several things happen while the churning of milk takes place. One event is that the foam from the churning produces apsaras or celestial maidens who are carved in relief throughout Angkor Wat. We see them here on either side of Vishnu, above the gods and demons, once the elixir is released. Indra, the Vedic god who is considered the king of all the gods, is seen descending from heaven to catch it and save the world from the destruction of the demons. The Battle of Angkor Wat, the most recent threat to Angkor, rose during Cambodia's 20-year-long civil war, which began in the early 1970s. The Khmer Rouge, whose genocidal reign of terror killed an estimated 1 million Cambodians. Did little direct damage to the monuments, but the fighting made maintenance impossible, says Binar Simhaya, the head of an Indian archaeology team at Angkor Wat. Wherever there is a small crack, dust will accumulate and soon a bush will spring up. All but a few of the major temples are covered in weeds, small bushes, and even large trees. Angkor Wat, a majestic temple complex, it has been bestowed with the unofficial title of the eighth wonder of the world. Its grandeur, architectural intricacy, and historical significance have earned it this prestigious recognition. Patron Temple is located 3 kilometers northeast of Angkor Wat and around 12 kilometers northeast of Siem Reap city. It is an ancient Buddhist monastic complex that was constructed in 1186 AD under the reign of the Khmer king, Suryavarman II. and is popularly known in modern culture as the Tomb Raider Temple. The temple was posthumously dedicated to Jayavarman VII's mother, Jayaraja Chudani, and his guru. Jayamangalartha, it is one of the must-visit temples in Angkor Archaeological Park of Siem Reap.
Roof of the temple. And the name of that tree is called Sung. S-P-U-N-N-G. And in English word, we call hollow fig tree. It's a kind of fig, but hollow inside. Oh. And this kind of tree doesn't need too much water to survive in dry season.
I see.
Because the trunk is hollow. And according to the concept of Cambodian naturalists in 2010, that tree at the moment is about 360 years old. 360. By the same time that the Angkor region was abandoned in 1432, so that tree took over the temple.
Yeah.
When you go through the entrance and see that from another side, you can see the root of the tree takes over the whole structure, like octopus. Yeah, and they rely together. No tree, no temple. Too late to remove it from the
That's why now it's
came to Cambodia in 2001 when she was 25 years old. So this is the main spot of the movie, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
And the name of this tree in Cambodian language we call Trang. Trang, you can spell T-R-A-N-G. Trang is the name of parasite tree. We can call it strangling tree.
Okay, who's next?
Or strangling tree. So it wrap. It wrap other tree to death. Yeah, sucking the fertilizer and water from another tree that people install in this temple. Alright, I will tell you. Prajna Paramita means the supreme wisdom. And this is also the access point of the temple compound. So from here to the entrance on the back is the same distance from here to the west. Yes, 500 meters. And this is also perfectly designed and calculated to the body of the dragon star. The same thing that I mentioned at the checkpoint of Angkor Wat is related to the head. This temple is related to the body.
The body, okay.
Not to the tail. So imagine that when people put the King's Mother statue on the pedestal right here, and then on the wall, you can see about 5,000 holes. 5,000 holes that they install gemstone. 4,540 pieces of gemstone according to the sandstone inscription that people found in the temple. So in each hole, they fill up the hole with the plaster. And then before the plaster is so hardened and dry, they put a piece of gemstone on the top. So imagine that at night when people burn the candle, you know, the light from the candle can sparkle. So every piece of gemstone can give different color, like ruby, sapphire, yellow sapphire, amethyst. So different colors symbolize of enlightenment to the King's Mother. Yeah. And then on the top, like the guy mentioned, it's open to the sky because it is perfectly calculated to the sun and the moon. So full moon day happens, the light of the moon can go through the hole straight down to the King's Mother and shine up the treasure that people install. This is one of the pictures that I got from another monument built by the same king, but he perfectly calculated and designed it to the sunlight.
Wow.
This is one of the equinox days at 12 o'clock at midday. So we can see the sun on the top of the temple and the light goes through the hole straight down to the head. So this is the engineering related to the sunlight because they did not have electricity. So the way that they make the statue more religious, more superstitious to the king, to the people, they design it to the sun and the moon. And then on the top of the door, you can see the Christmas shape. When they put the stone on the stone like this, so every block of the stone can get overweight and heavy pressure. So if they do not cut the space in triangle on the top of the door, this part of the door can get cracked. So that's why they cut that in space like that. In triangle, the weight of the stone can go both sides, and then it can reduce the weight.
Thank viewers for watching or subscribing. I hope you enjoy in this video. Thanks again and give like, comment, bye see you soon in another vlog of Siem Reap, City Tour Cambodia.
Okay, bring 4.